It's wild to me that he's constantly going after the media, but when Harry needs to promote Heart of Invictus,
Absolutely.
he's on Good Morning America. When Harry needs to promote the Invictus Games, he's on the Today Show. When Harry needs to promote Spare, he's sitting down with Anderson Cooper. Harry needs the media too. He just is refusing to acknowledge it.
A royal paradox. Navigating fame in the shadow of the crown. Prince Harry and Meghan Markle. Their names are synonymous with a whirlwind of glamour, controversy, and relentless media scrutiny. From their fairy tale wedding to their dramatic exit from royal life, they've captivated the world with their every move. Yet, their relationship with the very fame that surrounds them is complex, a tightrope walk between courting the spotlight and decrying its intrusions.
Okay, so we're going to talk about Meghan. She's had a high-powered Hamptons business summit. We'll talk about that. Bet she was wearing Chanel for that. We're going to talk about whether we'll ever see American Riviera Orchard as part of that. We'll talk about Harry claiming that Meghan has too much attention and that he can never bring her back to the UK. Prince Harry's inheritance. Yes, he's got no money, yet there is more money coming along. We'll talk about tabloids on trial and how it is horrific and how they have the audacity to not be ashamed of this crowdfunder for poor Thomas Markle. So we've a lot to dissect. Let's start with this high-powered business meeting, Kinsey, in the Hamptons over Meghan's new brand. So this brand, I mean, I feel like there have been births that have been quicker than this brand. When is the American Riviera Orchard actually going to come? You know when they wait in a Chinese zoo for a panda to conceive and give birth? That happens more quickly than American Riviera Orchard.
Well, Meghan Markle attended a summit in the Hamptons Friday titled the G9 Ventures Summer Summit. This was hosted by a power broker named Amy Griffin, who is, very, very well respected and has very deep pockets here in the States. Meghan, she actually flew from Santa Barbara by private jet with entrepreneur Jamie Kern Lima. She is a makeup guru. She was a local news personality, and she was trying to figure out how to cover up some of her birthmarks on her face, created this incredible line of cosmetics, sold it for millions of dollars, and now she's a motivational speaker, friends with Oprah Winfrey. So I am not surprised that Meghan is attracted to someone like her. I'm surprised that Jamie is attracted to someone like Meghan. I tried to study under Jamie about 4 or 5 years ago because she, like I said, she's a motivational speaker. You can go to her conferences, things like that. But it gave a little MLM, like, hey girl, like it just was a little bit too much like multi-level marketing feeling. And so I distanced myself. But according to Page Six, Meghan was at this event trying to pick up some tips for American Riviera Orchard. I would argue that I also bet she was trying to find guests for her podcast, which we expect to launch on Lemonada Media in 2025. Meghan's been doing a lot of networking lately. She was also recently seen out with Father of the Bride star Kimberly Williams Paisley out in Santa Barbara and Montecito. So obviously this is picking up steam. She is really trying to put herself out there, trying to make new friends, maybe find some investors, and see what other people can do for her in classic Meghan Markle fashion.
However, that networking hasn't actually stretched to any local farmers or manufacturers that might actually create any kind of product. Now, what you have described is Meghan doing the thing that she does best and selling herself as the product. However, when it comes to jam, bread, any kind of, the tea towels, the dog biscuits, no local farmers or manufacturers in the Santa Barbara district have heard hide nor hair of any of these products actually being created or being approached to make any of these products. So I would suggest that if I was thinking of creating products, I would, network with people that could create products. What do you think?
This intricate dance plays out in the pages of newspapers, in carefully curated interviews, and on the global stage of social media. Harry and Meghan, it seems, are engaged in a constant tug-of-war, wrestling with the legacy of a royal institution built on image and the yearning for a life free from its constraints. But can they truly have it both ways? Their story is a modern-day parable about the allure and peril of fame in the digital age. It's a story filled with contradictions, aspirations, and the ever-present shadow of the British monarchy. Harry and the Media Hydra, a love-hate relationship. Prince Harry's relationship with the media is perhaps best described as a tangled web of love, hate, and deep-seated resentment.
Well, it certainly sounds like the only thing that is moving forward aggressively is Meghan's new Netflix series, which, according to Page Six, looks gorgeous. This is where she is trying to pull off a Martha Stewart lifestyle type deal. This is expected to come out in 2020, at the beginning of 2025, which surprises me because Limonada, according to Richard Eden, was paused until 2025 because they apparently did not want to compete with this Netflix series or American Riviera Orchard. They say that it's taking months to edit because it's being synced for countries around the world. But we can see it at the beginning of 2025. Still no date confirmed with all of that information, no date confirmed for the launch of American Riviera Orchard. And my favorite part is that Prince Harry is strongly rumored to make at least a few cameos in the series, which, how could he not? What is Meghan Markle without Prince Harry?
And I love that, oh yes, you know, they're taking time to edit it because of all the different markets. No, of course they're not. Meghan is in that edit room making that poor editor's life a living hell. No, my hair is up. No, the lighting isn't good enough. No, I don't like my fingers in that shot on the food. You know that editor, his life is going to be hell. And then he's going to say, Meghan, I think that shot is okay. Don't you dare not call me Duchess. So that poor editor's life will be hell. But it is nice to hear that Harry will be, the door of the cupboard will be unlocked, that Harry is kept in, and he will be allowed to roam freely in the background before being shoved back in the cupboard, because, of course, it is all about Meghan. Now, whether she has any product to actually hoik during this cookery show, who knows? But it's interesting, because on the one hand, she's brilliant at marketing herself, networking, all of those things. She's got a lot of the Ava Perons about her. I've said that before. Yet weirdly, Prince Harry says, but when she comes to the UK, she gets too much attention. It's terrible for her. It's awful. I could never bring her back to the United Kingdom because she has too much attention. Is there such a thing for too much attention for Meghan Markle?
Well, we should probably classify this all within the tabloids on trial conversation, because this is a conversation Prince Harry had with ITV when he spoke of tabloids on trial. And this is all about Prince Harry, his ultimate fight to take down the tabloid media in the UK. At this point, it's a financial issue because it was dealt with criminally a decade ago. And Prince Harry says that he's kind of, it's David versus Goliath, and I guess him and Hugh Grant are David, but they are taking on the tabloid media for hacking. It's horrible. It shouldn't have happened, but it's not a David versus Goliath, Prince Harry. Not a lot of people have millions of dollars to spend on attorneys to fight about something that happened 10 years ago. But the idea that
that well-known myth of David, the royal prince and movie star, taking on Goliath. I mean, it is amazing the analogies that he uses to describe himself.
Well, he also calls himself a dragon slayer. He also refers to himself as like somebody still has their video game controller in their hand on a Tuesday at noon. Like, get a real job, Harry. But I also wanted to quickly reference back to the Hamptons, where spies told Page Six that Meghan was moving around this restaurant called Zero Bond in the East Hamptons without security.
He's enjoyed the perks of positive press, the celebratory headlines that come with royal milestones. Yet he's also borne the brunt of relentless scrutiny, the invasive paparazzi shots, and the often brutal narratives spun about his personal life. This push and pull dynamic stems from his unique position. As a prince, he's born into a world where media attention is both a birthright and a burden. The tragic death of his mother, Princess Diana, hounded by paparazzi, left an indelible scar, fueling his distrust of the tabloid press. However, Harry isn't entirely averse to the power of the media. He's harnessed it to promote causes close to his heart, from supporting veterans to raising mental health awareness. He understands that a well-placed interview or documentary can amplify his message and affect real change. This dichotomy lies at the heart of his complex relationship with the media. He wants to control the narrative, but the media, by its very nature, resists such control. Building an empire, brick by brick. Meghan Markle arrived on the royal scene with a confidence and entrepreneurial spirit that turned heads. An accomplished actress with a successful lifestyle blog, she was already familiar with the world of branding and media. Her entry into the royal family seemed to signal a fresh perspective, a willingness to leverage their platform for good. Post-royal life has seen Meghan diving headfirst into the world of business. From multi-million-dollar deals with streaming giants to launching her own ventures, she's actively crafting a brand that extends far beyond the confines of royalty. Her podcast, Archetypes, aimed to dissect stereotypes about women, while her partnership with Netflix hinted at a desire to produce impactful content. However, not all ventures have been met with unqualified success. The couple's ventures have sparked debate, with critics questioning their alignment with the values they espouse. Some argue that their lucrative deals contradict their calls for a more equitable world, while others commend their entrepreneurial spirit. The jury is still out on the long-term success of Meghan Markle Inc., but one thing is certain: she is determined to forge her own path, leveraging her platform to build a business empire on her own terms. The Boy Who Cried Wolf. Harry's crusade against tabloid tyranny. Prince Harry's vocal criticism of the British tabloid press has been a constant theme throughout his adult life. He's repeatedly called out what he perceives as their intrusive tactics, their penchant for fabricating stories, and their harmful impact on his mental health. His crusade against the harassment he's faced has garnered both sympathy and skepticism. On the one hand, his accusations of media intrusion resonate with many who have witnessed the often ruthless tactics employed by paparazzi and tabloid journalists. His vulnerability in sharing his mental health struggles, attributed in part to media pressure, has helped destigmatize these issues. On the other hand, his frequent media appearances, often to discuss the very issues he criticizes, have led some to accuse him of hypocrisy. Critics argue that he can't decry media intrusion while simultaneously courting the spotlight for his own projects. This perceived contradiction fuels the ongoing debate about the sincerity of his crusade and whether he's truly willing to step away from the media circus he claims to despise. Meghan Markle's public appearances, without visible security, have raised eyebrows and sparked debate about their underlying message. Some view these outings as a deliberate attempt to project an image of normalcy, a way of signaling that she's not defined by her royal title or the security concerns that typically accompany it. These solo appearances, often captured by strategically placed photographers, paint a picture of a woman comfortable navigating the world on her own terms. They feed into the narrative of a modern, independent woman who doesn't need constant protection. However, others view these outings as carefully orchestrated PR moves designed to convey a specific image rather than reflecting genuine trust in the public. The optics of these appearances are undeniable. They generate headlines, spark conversations about female empowerment, and contribute to the carefully crafted image of Meghan, the Duchess of everyday life. Whether they reflect a genuine desire for normalcy or a calculated media strategy remains open for interpretation. The debate highlights the fine line between authenticity and perception in the public lives of high-profile figures.